Welcome to worship, whether you're joining us via live stream or here in person. Very glad to have you with us at First United Methodist Church of Del Mar on this Christmas morning. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We're very informal today. So we're not going to receive an offering. There are some baskets up front, as there were last night for worship. So if you brought an offering this morning, you can leave them there. And otherwise, we're going to do a lot of singing. We'll rise, sort of like last night. We'll rise for the first and last. We'll stay seated for the carol medley in the middle. And why don't we start by rising for our call to worship. Believe.
For light is now in the world.
Believe.
For God has become one of us.
Believe.
For love is born in each of us.
Believe.
For the manger is full.
First hymn is number 224.
Jesus Christ is born today. Oxen as we mourn him now, and he is in the manger now. Christ is born today. Christ is born today. The Christian's friends rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Now ye hear of endless bliss. News, news, Jesus Christ was born for this. He got gold in heaven's door, and ye are blessed forevermore. Christ was born for this. Christ was born for this. The Christian friends rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Now ye need not fear the grave. News, news, Jesus Christ was born to save. All you want and calls you all to gain His everlasting love. Christ was born to save. Christ was born to save.
Please be seated. Please join with me in our opening prayer. We come to adore you, little one.
Unbended knee with hopeful heart, and eyes stretched wide with wonder and awe. The gentleness of your gaze draws us into the mystery of all that lies beyond. And in that place of falling into joy, we yield all that we are to you.
And we pray for those who are broken, those who seek, the trembling and the rumbling tummies, the haggard spirits and the ragged lives, for those who cling to the last best thing and those whose hearts pine for love, for those we name before you now, for all those who are alone this holiday season, for all those who were not able to travel to be with family and friends, for those who are homeless and sleeping on the streets on cold nights, for all those who are working, taking care of others, medical workers, firefighters and police, those who are driving buses and taxis, for all those who are recovering in hospitals and nursing homes, for all those who find this season difficult because of what they have lost or never had. Bless us, O Lord, whom we adore, and turn our faces ever toward you. For peace, for mercy, for the sake of all that is holy, we come to adore you, O Christ. Amen. We'll join in singing the first verse each. I thought I put that there. The first verse each of all of these carols that are listed.
once laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky look down where he lay. Amid the Lord Jesus, asleep on the hay. In a reaping winter, frosty wind made warm. Birds that hard as iron, water like the snow. Snow had fallen, snow, 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 snow. In the bleak winter, Jesus, my brother's brother, was humbly born in a stable room, and the friendly bees around him stood. Jesus, our brother, strong and good. Infant holy and lovely, Christ that our cattle small, oxen knowing, little knowing, Christ the baby's Lord of all. Slipped our feeding into singing, bells ringing, tidings bringing, Christ the baby's Lord of all. Now we have a Christmas, how else sing we here? Hear our grateful praises to the lips of Him. Sing we Noel, the King is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel. Looking at Christmas, how lovely loved in love and love was born at Christmas.
used to go through when we did that kind of thing and put all the carols in some kind of order that seemed musically appropriate, so there'd be all these great transitions. And you'll notice sometimes we have these really smooth transitions, like the jab, and other times they just don't quite work one into the other. But I decided numerical order is a lot easier to sing. And so it's more for practical reasons. Sometimes that's the way to go. So I want to invite any kids who want to come up this morning as I'm going to read a story that's a favorite of mine. Thank you, Sophie. You didn't have to run to try to get it. How are you guys today? Having a good Christmas? Did Santa come to your house? You like to clap? You're the only kids here. That's true. That's true. Yeah. I'm really glad you're here. So, otherwise, I don't seem it would be weird if I was just up here reading the story. Plus, it's got small pictures, and if I show you, then I'm okay with that. I'm not seeing them, but if you weren't here, I'd have to walk all the way down there so they could see the pictures. This is a book that's called How Six Found Christmas, and it's written by Trina Sharp Hyman. And there's actually a note in this from my grandmother, because this woman was from Lyme, New Hampshire, and that's where my grandmother grew up, and also where my dad lived when he was a little boy the first couple of years of his life. And so it has a special connection to me, and I've had it for that long. So my grandmother wrote in there, and I think it's from like 1969 or something. Yep, so I was like 1 year old. That's a long time ago. Now everybody knows how old I am. So, once upon a time, there was a little girl who had never heard of Christmas, and therefore did not know what it was. By chance one day, she happened to meet an old wise woman who told her that there was such a thing. But the wise woman did not elaborate on the matter, so the little girl was left as ignorant as before, yet with great curiosity. Being a sensible child, she decided that the best way to find out what a Christmas was would be to go and find one and have a look for herself. So she set out, as many others have done before, for the great snow forest of the north to look for Christmas. She traveled for 2 days and 2 nights, and on the morning of the 3rd day, she chanced to meet a large gray cat who was sitting at the edge of the forest, shaking her paws on account of the snow. "Where are you going, my child?" asked the cat. "And where are your mittens?" This cat was a straightforward, motherly soul. "I'm going to find a Christmas," said the little girl, "and my mittens are in my pocket." "What on earth is a Christmas?" asked the cat, astonished. "I have never heard of such a thing. What does it feel like? Is it comfortable and warm? Does it have fur? Is it wet or dry? Is it cold and sharp and smooth like ice? Or is it prickly warm velvet like summer grass? Tell me quickly, for I am curious, being a cat." "Bless you, Tabby, I don't know what it feels like," answered the child. "I myself have never felt a Christmas, which is why I'm looking for one. If you are really so curious, why don't you come along with me? Then when I find one, you may feel it for yourself." To this the cat agreed, and they set off together through the great snow forest. They had not gone far before they met a sad-faced hound, nosing his way from tree to tree. "I beg your pardon," said the hound, "but did either of you ladies happen to see a rabbit pass this way not long ago?" "No," said the little girl, "I've seen no rabbit at all. But in your hunting, did you happen to come across a Christmas?" The dog sat down and gazed at her mournfully. "You know," he said, "I'm not really sure. As a matter of fact, I am not at all sure I know what a Christmas is. What does a Christmas smell like? Is it musty and strong like rabbits and squirrels? Does it smell as delicious and comforting as cooking meat? Or as ancient and frightening as old cellars? Does it smell like a human baby? Or a riverbank? Or perhaps like rotting leaves?" "Bless you, dog," said the child, "I can't tell you what a Christmas smells like, for I myself have never smelled one. If you are really interested, why don't you come along with us? And when we find a Christmas, you may smell one for yourself." Having by now given up the rabbit, the hound decided that this was not such a bad idea, and he fell in step with the cat and the little girl. They spent the night in a deserted castle, and on the morning of the fourth day, the three travelers met a great red hawk perched on the limb of a fir tree. Because they haven't gotten it yet. Yeah, I know. It's a lot of words, right? "Halt," snapped the hawk. Since he was very regal looking, they all did as they were told. "I've been watching you from afar for a day and a night, and I demand to know where you are going and why you are going there." "Well, of course," said the little girl. "We are looking for a Christmas. It was I who wanted to find one first, you see, because I don't know what one is. And then my friends, the cat and the dog, decided that they would like to find a Christmas too. Cat wants to feel it, and dog wants to smell it. So although we don't know exactly where we are going, at any rate, that is why we are going there." "I see," said the hawk, frowning and moving from one foot to the other. "Well, I can tell you right now that such a thing does not exist. If it did, I would have seen it in my travels. What does a Christmas look like? Does it glitter? Does it move? Quickly or slowly? Is it dark or bright? What color is it? Is it round and fuzzy, or is it flat and clear? Does it change its shape, or does it remain the same?" "Bless you, hawk," said the little girl. "I can't answer your questions because I myself have never seen a Christmas or even heard it described. If you really want to know what it looks like, why don't you come along with us, and when we find one, you may see it for yourself." After a moment's thought, the hawk agreed to come. As the others walked along, he flew behind them at a sedate height. They traveled all that day. Just as evening was coming on, they met a wise old fox, who pricked up his ears and grinned when he saw them. "Whither away?" said the fox, who fancied himself an old-fashioned gentleman. "Good evening," said the little girl. "We are traveling through the great snow forest, looking for a Christmas. Do you happen to know where we might find one?" "A Christmas? A Christmas," murmured the fox, looking clever. "No, my dear, I can't say that I know exactly where you could find one at this time of year. Perhaps in the summer, yes. A Christmas, you say? Now, let me see. Perhaps I know it by another name. Would you describe the thing for me? What does it taste like? Is there lots of juicy blood? Is it sweet or salty or sour or peppery? Is it crisp? Does it go crunch when one bites it, or does it slip between one's teeth and slide down one's throat? Is it spicy and rich, or is it bland and wholesome?" "Bless you, old fox," said the child. "I can't tell you how it tastes, for I have never eaten a Christmas. If you really wish to know all those things, why don't you come along with us? If we find one, you may take a taste, but only a nibble, mind you." As the fox was rather hungry, even a nibble seemed better to him than nothing, so he readily agreed to go along with the others. The whole of the next day they traveled through the forest, searching for a Christmas. In the late afternoon they met a mockingbird who was amusing himself by pretending he was a nightingale. "Hello, hello," he said. "What have we here? What brings so many creatures this far into the great snow forest at once?" "Oh, Mockingbird," said the little girl, who was by now getting weary and discouraged. "We are looking for a Christmas. Do you know where we might find one?" "A Christmas," exclaimed the Mockingbird, and whistled long and low. "What the devil is that? Tell me what it sounds like, and I'll tell you where to find one. Does it tinkle? Does it shriek? Does it boom and roar, or does it titter and squeak? Does it laugh? Does it sob? Does it use one note or many? Is it music, or is it noise?" "Bless you, Mockingbird," said the child. "That I can't tell you, for I have never heard of Christmas. If you wish to know what it sounds like, I advise you to come along with us, for if we ever find one, then you may hear it." And so he did. And it came to pass, there they are all traveling, that on the evening of the fifth day, they came upon an old green bottle, dropped in the snow by some lonely hunter, perhaps, or a long-dead frozen king. There it lay, solitary and startling in the great snow forest, and the rays of the setting sun shone on the green glass, and it became as fire and ice, and as the sea in summer. "Well," said the little girl, "I believe this is possibly what we are looking for. It is certainly very beautiful, and I somehow feel that this is a Christmas." The big gray cat went up to the bottle and put her paw on it, Then she rubbed her whiskers against it and lay down next to it. "It is smooth and cold," she said. "It has a silky and yet a hard feel to it. Not exactly my cup of tea, but yes, I believe you were right. This must be Christmas." Next, the hound went nosing up to the bottle and sniffed it all over. He put his nose to the opening. Then he looked worriedly at the little girl. "It smells old," he said. "It smells of past memories, half-forgotten things, both happy and sad. I can't say it smells delicious, but it certainly does have a smell of its own. Musty, sort of. I guess this is what you were looking for." Then the hawk flew down and perched on the child's shoulder and gazed at the bottle with his most formidable gaze. "Madam," he finally said, "it is a beautiful object. Pleasing shape, lovely color, and sort of an inner fire that gives it a most interesting glitter, both round and clear. No real movement there, of course, but it has a definite charm nevertheless. I would say without a doubt that this is a Christmas, and quite a good example of one at that." Now the fox went over and nibbled at the neck of the bottle. "Certainly no crunch there, and not any juice either," he grumbled. "Taste of snow and winter air, and maybe just a little salt." He was rather disappointed. "Yes, I suppose this is a Christmas, my dear, but if I were you, I'd let it sit until summer. By then it may have gotten some of its flavor back." The mockingbird just whispered, "No sound at all." How remarkable. No sound at all. He shook his head sadly for a while, and then he gave a low whistle and flew away. The little girl took up the bottle, brushed the snow from its sides, and put it under her coat. Then she started on the long journey back home. The hawk, after expounding a little on the virtues of the Christmas, flew off to the great Finn forest to hunt for weasels. The fox, after a day of traveling, thanked the little girl for a pleasant experience, bowed low over her hand, and trotted off to try and get a decent meal somewhere. The dog and the cat walked her the rest of the way home, and they parted with promises to see another often, or at least write. The little girl took the bottle and set it on her table. Then she filled it with branches and berries, and soft green pine, and the evening stars shone through the window and onto the green glass, making it glisten softly. Lo, it was Christmas. And then it says, "Christmas is not only where you find it, it's what you make of it." So what do you think Christmas is? Joy. That's really good. I love that. You think we should ask some of the grown-ups what they think? How's that? Okay. What do some of you think Christmas is?
Love.
Love.
Being with family.
Being with family. The little girl kind of found a family, a different kind of family of her own, right? Anyone else? They're pretty quiet. I think, what's that? Spending time together, that's a good one too. What do you think, Alexander? What's a Christmas? What is Christmas? What's it been so far today? Christmas? Was it gifts? Yeah. Opening gifts, that's part of it too. Yeah. Giving gifts? Yeah. And good food? Yeah. What'd you have for breakfast? You don't remember? What? Waffles! Nice. Nice. I haven't actually eaten breakfast yet. I had coffee. Did you have coffee? No. Well, thank you so much for coming up and sharing my story with me. Did you like that story? Merry Christmas. So I invite you to stand as we sing together a hymn that maybe some of you thought was going to happen last night. Number 246, Joy to the World.
God. Savior reigns. Let all that storms and war, from fields and floods, from fields and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. No more chains and sorrows through, no thorns and fears around. He comes to bear His blessings flow. For us the curse is found, for us the curse is found, for us the curse is found. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of His righteousness, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love, and all wonders of His love.
You know that's not necessarily a Christmas song. I hate to spoil that for you. But it works so wonderfully well for the season. But it seems like a hymn we should sing at other times as well. So we probably will. Go forth and believe.
It is that the prophet said.
And the blessing of Christmas, of family and friends, and of God be with you today.
Amen.
Go forth in peace. Merry Christmas.